Okay. This is my second video of the day. I just run through some stuff in my head. So, you know, why am I so big on investing in digital assets, right? Feel free to fact check me on any of this stuff. Just going off the top of my head, one take, uncut. So ever since September of 2019, basically, the banking system has just about collapsed. There was liquidity issues and interbank transfers, bank to bank, right? So the Fed had to step in and start printing up to trillions of dollars over the course of a few months, and that just carried on and carried on and carried on. So where are we at, right? 20%. I think the number is over 20% of all the U.S. dollars in circulation was printed this year in 2020. And it's only going to get worse. You know, we're talking about stimulus packages, people not being able to work and all this stuff. We're moving into this, I don't want to say, like basically socialist dystopia where people are relying on the government to pay for their things, and not being allowed to work and all that stuff. So people are relying on the government. They say, hey, I need the stimulus check, right? So I think you can thank Andrew Yang for probably, and I'm going to make this prediction, a lot of people have made this prediction as well, and I agree with it, so it's not really my original thought, but I think that we're going to go to a universal basic income here in the future. So just be ready for that. You know, if you are super frivolous, I know that I can be sometimes. Just humans like to hoard things, so but expect UBI, right? I think that Andrew Yang only ran so that he could basically get people talking about it, make it a little more. Excuse me, that's bothering me. He ran just to kind of throw it out there and get people talking about universal basic income. So we're looking at that in the future, right? So how does this relate to digital assets? I think that in the future, and you should look up Agenda 2030, in the future, basically the only kind of way you're going to have freedom that you knew as a child and young adult, that kind of freedom, you are going to have a lot of money in order to do those things. Otherwise, you're basically, going to be stuck in the debt cycle, the debt slavery. You're going to be stuck. It makes me sad to talk about it, but you're going to be stuck working until the day you die. So why invest in digital assets, specifically cryptocurrencies and stuff? Why do I think that's such an exciting thing? Well, first off, it's the first new asset class, and it's not a derivative of any other asset class, really. It's the first brand new asset class since like the late 1600s. So that's pretty cool. Which means that, in its short time frame, we're looking at like 12, 13 years that it's been around. Comparatively speaking, right, there's a lot of upside potential. So I think that if you can basically, stick your hook in a good project that has good fundamentals and can exist in the new future, you're going to want to, throw a little money at that. And it doesn't mean go all in or whatever. If you have already have a good retirement plan and all that stuff, I think that you should consider adding some cryptocurrencies or whatever to your thing. I know it's weird. It's all new age, fucking millennial Gen Z crap, bull crap. But I don't care about the tech. I don't care about any of that. I think that fundamentally speaking, if you look at the asset class, it's so young that, it could be a good train to ride. So I think it's something that everyone should be looking into. Super important that you're not just living paycheck to paycheck. If you are, you need to reassess how you live your life. So you don't want to be like butter scraped over too much bread, right? If you have zero money left over at the end of the pay period, consider where you spend your money, you know. So I know we all have vices and stuff. I mean, I chew tobacco, um, but I don't, you know, if I for some reason didn't have money for it, you know, I wouldn't be buying it. So it's I think that we're coming into some really bad times. So don't be misconstrued by the stock market numbers. The stock market's only going up because of the repo market injections, and then these people took the tens of billions of dollars, and then they bought up the stock market, right? And then now the Fed's buying assets and stuff, so which they're not supposed to be able to do, but I guess they have some emergency powers or whatever. I don't know. The technicals of that stuff I'm not super good at. But what I can see is what is coming in the future, and I can't formally recommend it, but take a look at it. You know, take a look at where this is going to go. So I got into really learning about it in June of 2018. It's funny. It was like right when my son was born. I freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so expensive. It turned out to not be too expensive, but I was terrified, afraid. So I started looking around. I was like, there's got to be some sort of way to make it so that he has a future. And so I discovered crypto. I mean, I had known about it since I was a sophomore in high school when Bitcoin first came out. You know, all the freaking weirdos that got on 4chan and stuff were talking about it, and I never partook in it. And do I regret it? No, I mean, not really. So, but I started looking into it June 2018, and started doing some research, and you know, the echo chambers were telling me, hey, we're gonna have a digital currency in the future, you know, a digital US dollar. And so I started, you know, parroting that all over the place, and then I started seeing things like just trying to warn people. If I can help anyone, I consider that my duty. So I started telling everybody, like, hey man, you know, the dollar's going digital, maybe look into this crypto thing, you know, don't wait, like, who cares what the market's doing, like, let's just freaking buy it up. And so I was doing that. I got a few really, really good friends, lifelong friends, that kind of, you know, stuck their neck out there and did that too. And I think that as we're coming along, we're really going to be seeing some pretty good gains in the future, and not just temporary gains. I mean, like, we're talking about like real market movements, real price discovery as this asset class gets more validated. So you can look at the talking heads of like Christine Lagarde, head of the ECB, former head of the IMF, Klaus Schwab, Benoit Cure, all these dudes, these people at high level, unelected officials, basically high financial people that really affect the whole world and monetary policy. 2 years ago, it was freaking crazy to even talk about like how there's going to be a digital currency or anything like that. And now these people are like, yeah, we're freaking doing it. Yeah, we've been looking at it, we're doing it. And I'm just like, oh, we're a lot closer than we thought. So, you know, and honestly, like, if it weren't for the current health thing going on right now, I think that the space we would have been, you know, 2025, 2030 looking at this happening, and it really accelerated everything. So, you know, every dark cloud has a silver lining, and I think that those of us that have positioned ourselves to come out the other side of this new world, this brave new world, come out the other side of this better, because we just took a risk, you know, buying some cryptos, I hate that word, buying some of these digital assets now is like, it's like owning a pavement company before, or it's like owning, what is the term? It's like owning Ford before the roads are paved, if that makes sense. So just look to the future. Things are going to be pretty crazy. So, and I'm willing to stake my reputation, my name on that. I've already stuck my neck out and kind of looked like an idiot for the last 2 years, telling people all this was coming. But, you know, if I can save just one person some of that financial destruction in the future, I feel like I did a good job. I would so hate to be wealthy on something that I researched and didn't freaking tell any of my friends. First off, I'd be paying for everything all the time. You know, hey dude, like, okay. So, yeah, but back in the day, I would have said, I'll buy the beer, but I don't drink, so not anymore. That stuff was stupid. Stop drinking. It's not good for you. It's not good for your soul. And go boldly in everything that you do.